What's up, everybody? Justin here, back with a new year in wrestling reloaded. 1995, part 1. 95, you had a lot of pay-per-views. Another WCW added another pay-per-view. WWF had the King of the Ring and a couple in your house pay-per-views, because they were competing with each other. WCW, WWF, they wanted, we all know they were trying to go back and forth by adding more pay-per-views or instilling talent. Anyways, year in wrestling reloaded, 1995. Let me turn this around because I want to. Anyways, ECW was going strong, running basically a lot of monthly big events like super shows and pay-per-views before they were on pay-per-view. ECW in 95 ran a lot of big events, almost like every month, that they would release on video. So I'm going to review a lot of ECW super shows from 95. I'm going to review the return of the Funker, the three-way dance, Hostile City Showdown 95, and Enter Sandman. Also, why not? Barbed wire hoodies and choke slams I will also review. And I'll talk about some of my favorite WWF and WCW pay-per-views. So here we go. I'm going to first review ECW, Return of the Funker, which took place on February 25th, 95. I'm reading this the results off of my cell phone. I don't know the results by heart. Some of these shows I've not watched in a couple years. So first we had the Pitbulls. The Pitbulls defeated Chad Austin and Joel Hartgood. I don't know who the hell that is. Up next we had so the Pitbulls basically destroyed their opponents in about 4 minutes. Up next we had Jason and Paul somebody against they were up against Hack Myers and Mikey Whipwreck. They Jason and his partner defeated Mikey and Hack Myers. That went about 15 minutes. Jason, the guy was an okay worker. He was mostly a manager later for Just Incredible. Up next we had Too Cold Scorpio defeated Hector Guerrero. I don't remember Hector Guerrero. I do not remember Hector in ECW, but he was there. So Too Cold Scorpio defeats Hector Guerrero. Up next we had Axel Rotten defeat Ian Rotten. By the way, they were not real brothers. Axel Rotten was always better. The guy was a better worker and better at everything. Ian Rotten sucked. The guy was a garbage wrestler. So Axel defeated Ian in a barbed wire baseball bat matchup. It was bloody. I remember it. It was bloody and it was violent and it was hardcore. So I'm glad Axel got the win. Up next we had Shane Douglas, the World Heavyweight Champion. Shane Douglas, the World Champ. Shane Douglas defeated Marty Jannetty. For some reason, I don't know why. Let me move back here. By the way, check out my pants. NXT. So anyways, just thought I'd share that. So Shane Douglas defeated Marty Jannetty for the world title. Shane Douglas defended and retained. It went 18 minutes. Also in 95, I believe Shane Douglas also wrestled Tully Blanchard for like 45 minutes or an hour. So now we have the final two matches. The triple threat before Bam Bam, Chris Candido, and Shane Douglas. The triple threat was Shane Douglas, Chris Benoit, and Dean Malenko. I believe it was a tag match. It was not a three-way. Yeah, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko defeat Sabu and the Tasmaniac for the ECW World Tag Team titles. So, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, your new ECW Tag Team Champions at the return of the Funker. Paul Heyman, Paulie Dangerously was in the corner of Sabu and Tasmaniac. Because Paulie Dangerously at the time was managing Sabu. So now we have the main event, which was Cactus, or the final match. I don't think it was the main event. Cactus Jack defeated basically a jobber, DC Drake. And DC Drake was with the Sandman and Woman. So Cactus Jack defeated him in 4 minutes. So that was Return of the Funker. And after Return of the Funker, for into the summer, Cactus and the Sandman would feud and have what I know. They had 2 barbed wire matches against each other. One at the ECW Arena at barbed wire hoodies and choke slams, and they had another barbed wire match in Florida, I believe Fort Lauderdale. So now let's review what was the next ECW event. As I look it up, it was the three-way dance was up next. The three-way dance. Again, all these ECW super shows I'm reviewing happened in 1995. Because I'm trying to find the three-way dance results. Why can't I find them? So the three-way dance happened on April 8th, 95 from, of course, every event was from the ECW Arena in South Philadelphia. I never went there. I wish I could have. So here we go with the three-way dance. What the hell? They don't have the event to look up. I'll just read and give you the matches and the card. I can't find the damn results. So anyways, the three-way dance had Public Enemy, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko take on Rick Steiner and Taz. Rick Steiner came in, got a huge pop, huge reaction. And Rick Steiner and Taz were a pretty good team. For the short time they were a team in ECW. Rick Steiner was not working at the time in WWF or WCW, so Rick Steiner decided to go work for Paul Heyman. For like, I don't know, 3 to 4 appearances. I think he wrestled 3 to 4 matches. So there's a three-way dance for the World Tag Team titles. Then you had Shane Douglas challenge the ECW World Champion. The Sandman challenged Shane Douglas, who Shane was the world champ. For the world title at the three-way dance, I believe the Sandman might have won it at the three-way dance. I would have to look it up. Give me a second here. So this may take a while because I can't pause the video. God damn, we have all these titles in this book. It's a wrestling book I got. Trying to find the ECW World Championship. I could just look it up on my phone, I guess. ECW television title. Where's the world title? A lot of damn titles in this book from every promotion. AWA, All Japan, New Japan, Georgia, heavyweight NWA title, world class, USWA, whatever. It's not important. I think the Sandman defeated Shane at the three-way dance. I know he defeated him at one of the events in '95. So then at the three-way dance, we also had Raven's first one-on-one matchup with Tommy Dreamer was at the three-way dance. As Beulah McGillicuddy also made her debut and turned on Tommy Dreamer. She was with Raven and Stevie Richards. She sprayed Tommy in the eyes with hairspray. Raven DDT'd him on the concrete. That a famous highlight of when Raven DDT Dreamer on the floor and Joey Styles yells DDT. So that was a three-way dance. Also, it had Eddie Guerrero take on Two Cold Scorpio. That was really good. Up next, I'm going to review Hostile City Showdown. ECW Hostile City Showdown. Again, it happened from the ECW Arena, April 15th, '95. Up first, we had Mikey Whipwreck with Hack Myers defeated Stevie Richards with Raven. I don't know who the hell those guys are that had a match up next. Basically jobbers. They're two really big fat guys. Up next, we had, again, Ian Rotten against Axel Rotten. Ian defeated Axel in another barbed wire baseball bat matchup. So a rematch of Return of the Funker. Up next, we had Raven with Stevie Richards and Beulah take on Tommy Dreamer in a no contest. That might have been, maybe that was March or February, but no, it couldn't have been. One of these big shows, Raven busted open Tommy Dreamer on the floor. Then he crucified him on the ropes outside. So Dreamer had his hands tied on the ropes. His legs were dangling to the floor outside the ring. Insane, because Dreamer was fucking bloody. He was a bloody mess. He was bleeding like crazy when he was tied up. He was just busted open so bad. His ECW shirt was covered. His shorts, he had spandex shorts. I think they're purple or something, purple or blue. His spandex shorts were absolutely stained in his blood. He bled a lot. I think I heard a backstory about he let Raven blade him because he didn't, I don't know, he didn't want to, or Raven said, sure, I'll do it. I'll do it, sure. And he did it too deep to Dreamer. So, anyways, that was Dreamer Raven no contest. Up next, we had Eddie Guerrero for the ECW TV title. Eddie Guerrero defending against Dean Malenko in a time limit draw. 25 minutes. It was awesome. It was great. Eddie, Dean Malenko absolutely had 5-star matches, just wrestling classics in 95 in ECW. Those matches probably got them signed by WCW. Or somebody at WCW, I think it was Kevin Sullivan or somebody, saw Eddie, Dean, Chris Benoit in ECW, and they were like, probably told Bischoff, we gotta fucking sign these 3 guys. And they did. Eddie, Dean, Chris Benoit were brought in 95 and were put on Nitros after Nitro debuted. Also, 1995, WCW Monday Nitro debuted from the Mall of America. The famous show where Lex Luger jumped ship when Vince thought he was still with WWF, but he did not have a contract. Sadly, Vince trusted Lex that he wouldn't go anywhere, that he had a handshake agreement. But Lex never had a contract. And Bischoff didn't even want to bring him in. He did not. He did it as a favor to Sting, because Sting and Lex were boys for all those years. So next, we had the Sandman defeat Shane Douglas for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship at Hostile City Showdown. It only went 7 minutes. A woman, I believe, was with Shane, and woman turned on Shane and went with the Sandman. Up next, we had the Public Enemy defeat the Pitbulls for the World Tag Team titles. Public Enemy retained. 2 more matches. We had 911 with Paulie Dangerously. 911 defeated Ron Simmons in 5 minutes. And finally, Cactus Jack defeated Terry Funk in 12 minutes, 58 seconds. Cactus and Terry in 95 would have a legendary blood, hardcore feud, hardcore bloody barbed wire matches in Japan. I think the company was called IWA. It was not FMW. I think it was IWA in Japan. Basically, I think they were a death match company. That's like all they did, mostly. King of the Death Match in Japan in 95, Terry Funk, Cactus. They almost killed each other. Legit, those matches were fucking brutal. Especially the finals of the King of the Death Match. In Japan, Cactus was a bloody mess. C4 explosives in the ring and outside that they were hip tossing each other on, backdropping each other on. The barbed wire was surrounding the ring, the barbed wire match. Cactus climbed up a ladder for some reason and fell off it onto the barbed wire. It was brutal. Really hardcore stuff. Terry Funk, Cactus, really good friends. Really respect each other. I don't know how the fuck they beat the hell out of each other like that. I couldn't beat up my friend and freaking bleed and get slammed on barbed wire. No, thank you. I wouldn't want to do that with a friend. Maybe I would if I got paid a ton. But I still wouldn't. So next let's go with let's review Enter the Sandman. ECW Enter the Sandman. I gotta find it. It's on the phone. So, Enter Sandman. What the hell? Can't look up. I don't know. Can't find the results. Maybe you can. I'll just give you the card again. Enter the Sandman. We had 2 world title defenses at Enter the Sandman by the Sandman as he defended it against Cactus Jack and then Shane Douglas later in the same night. Bill Alfonso made his ECW debut. We had another classic between Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko. Tommy Dreamer teamed up with Mikey Whipwreck to take on Raven and Stevie Richards. That was Enter Sandman. Now let's talk about barbed wire hoodies and choke slams. That was right after Enter the Sandman. The matches were the Sandman take on Cactus Jack for the ECW World Title in a barbed wire match. It was pretty brutal. It wasn't bloody really, but I think they did blade, but it wasn't that bloody. It was a barbed wire match. In 95, ECW did do a lot of bloody wrestling and a lot of barbed wire matches and a lot of blood and guts and fire. So after Sandman retained against Cactus Jack, you had, again, I gave you the main event. Mikey and Tommy against Raven and Stevie Richards. Now I'm going to talk about some WWF WCW pay-per-views in 95 that took place and that were some of my favorites. First off, you had the Royal Rumble 95. Not a good Rumble match. I loved how Shawn won because his foot didn't touch the floor. That was a great finish. That was really cool. I think Shawn was number 1. And British Bulldog was number 2. They lasted everybody. They all lasted them. They all lasted 28 other guys. And HBK won. Pamela Anderson was there, made an appearance. And Shawn started trying to dance, like give her a lap dance. That was pretty damn funny because she looked like she didn't want to get a lap dance. So the Royal Rumble match in 95 was not good. It was really, the finish was great. Shawn and Bulldog lasting, that was great. But the match wasn't that good. And the other match that was pretty damn good. Also, not just Pamela Anderson at the Rumble, but LT, Lawrence Taylor, also made an appearance. Set up a storyline with him and Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam pushed them to the floor. So, as I try to look up all the WWF pay-per-views, give me a second. So, the Rumble 95 Diesel Brett was really good, but there was interference and a whole bunch of run-ins. So you had, then after the Rumble, what did we have? Royal Rumble right into WrestleMania 11, my opinion. WrestleMania 11 is one of the worst, in my opinion. It's up there with WrestleMania 2 is not very good. I stand by this. WrestleMania 11 is more boring and worse than WrestleMania 9. I like WrestleMania 9, but a lot don't. 11 to me is the worst ever. Worst ever Mania is 11. I thought even 2 was better. I mean, 2 was kind of a mess. The only match that's really worth watching is Hogan, King Kong Bundy in the cage. So WrestleMania 11, not a good Mania. We did see Razor Ramon, Jeff Jarrett was good, but it ended in a disqualification for the IC title. What the fuck? Why do a title match at a Mania to have a non-finish? That's just stupid. So now In Your House, the first ever In Your House event took place on May 14th, Mother's Day, I believe. I believe it's Mother's Day 95. May 14th, 95, the first ever In Your House pay-per-view, In Your House 1. So, Bret Hart, I'm not going to review the whole card, but Bret Hart and Hakushi had a really good match that lasted 14 minutes. If Bret won, I believe he got to face Jerry the King Lawler later. What else did we have? Good God. Mabel defeated Adam Bomb in a minute, 51 seconds. Why? In a King of the Ring qualifier. Owen Hart, Yokozuna, the tag champs, defeated the Smoking Guns. I'm sure that was a good tag match. Yokozuna in 95, the guy was really getting to be really, really obese. It was pretty sad to watch. He could still work in 95, but 96 he couldn't. He got too big, sadly. WWF did not really use Yokozuna much at all in 96. He had a lot of health problems. So the main event of the first In Your House was the World WWF Championship. Diesel defended against Sid, Psycho Sid. And Diesel won by disqualification. What the fuck? I hate that when they do world title matches at pay-per-views and you have a DQ. It's stupid. I understand it, but it's stupid. As a fan, I don't like it. So now let's go to King of the Ring 95 in Philadelphia, where at King of the Ring 95 you had an EC Dub chant. The fans were not happy in Philly with what they were seeing. It was during, I believe, let me start over. It was during Mabel and Savio Vega that ECW chant broke out. Watch it back. You'll hear it on the network. King of the Ring 95 was not very good. It was not one of my favorite King of the Rings. It wasn't even better than 94. So not much happened at King of the Ring 95. Mabel defeated Savio, and then Mabel defeated The Undertaker. That's shocking. Mabel was put over The Undertaker. Why? I get it. I guess Vince thought I need a giant monster heel to face Diesel. Well, that didn't work at SummerSlam. Mabel wins the King of the Ring 95. Nobody cares. Sadly, Mabel, rest in peace. The guy's a pretty good big man. Not as good as others like Bam Bam and Vader, but he wasn't a bad big guy. He was a really big man. He had to be like close to 450 or 500. So another In Your House in July. Not that good. Diesel defeated Psycho Sid in a lumberjack match to retain the WWF Championship. That match was actually good, I thought. Diesel and Sid Vicious, or Sid, Psycho Sid. Diesel, Psycho Sid, Lumberjack at In Your House 2 was good, I thought. I enjoyed it. And what else was good was Shawn Michaels, Jeff Jarrett. Shawn wins IC title as a babyface. It was awesome. SummerSlam 95, it wasn't that bad. You had Hakushi defeat the 1-2-3 Kid. That was good. Good match. Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley took on Bob Holly, defeated him. Triple H's SummerSlam debut in 95. Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon for the IC title in the ladder match, rematch of the century, they called it. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Wasn't as good as WrestleMania 10, but it was still a good ladder match. Bret Hart sadly had to take on Isaac Yankem. That was not a good match. You had stupid Jerry Lawler on a microphone, like distracting and yelling at Bret. Main event was Diesel defending the world title, defeating Mabel. It was not a good match or main event. In Your House 3, September 24th. I don't even remember it. Dean Douglas, Shane Douglas as Dean Douglas. Should have never left ECW, Shane, in 95. That was a big mistake because they treated you like shit and as a joke and as a stupid, dumbass teacher gimmick. Somehow, Dean Douglas was IC champion for a short time, I believe. And Shane Douglas was a damn good worker in ECW, but in WWF he was treated like a joke. And I guess a clique won't let him get over. I don't know. Razor and Shawn would not do the job for him. So the main event of In Your House 3, where we saw the debut of Goldust on pay-per-view. That was awesome. Might have been his first matchup. Goldust defeated Bob Holly. I thought maybe that was the next In Your House. One of the In Your Houses in 95, Goldust, defeated Marty Jannetty, I think. So whatever. Goldust defeated Bob Holly, I guess, but it might have been Marty Jannetty Goldust. Maybe that was October In Your House. I'm not sure. I don't even see it down here. Yeah, Goldust defeated Marty Jannetty the October 95 In Your House. September 95 In Your House. Goldust defeated Bob Holly. So I guess September In Your House was Goldust's debut in the WWF. What a fucking character. What a fucking gimmick. And Dustin Rhodes played it to perfection. So, let's talk about the main event of In Your House 4 or 3. In Your House 3. Shawn Michaels and Diesel, Intercontinental and WWF champion, defeated the tag team champions Owen Hart when there's interference in the match. So then I believe tag titles were held up, or I don't remember, but Diesel and Shawn acted like they won the tag titles and they were holding all the gold. In Your House, October. In Your House 4. I don't remember much about it. Razor Ramon defeated Dean Douglas to become the first ever 4-time Intercontinental Champion. Shawn Michaels earlier had to give up the title and vacate it because he was beat up by thugs in a bar that attacked him. So, the main event was Davey Boy Smith with Jim Cornette defeated defeated Diesel, Kevin Nash, by disqualification when Bret Hart was doing color commentary, and then Bret interfered and attacked Davey Boy. So that was In Your House 4. I guess it was okay. I don't really remember it much. Haven't watched it in like over 5 years. I first watched a lot of In Your Houses that I didn't see. I watched a lot of them in 2014 when I first got the network. So it's been 6 years. Survivor Series 95, I thought was good. You had the debut of Ahmed Johnson. You had Bret Hart defeat Diesel in a really good main event for the WWF Championship. In Your House 5. December 95, the final pay-per-view of the year for WWF in 95. Bret Hart defeated Davey Boy Smith in the main event. Bret Hart defended and retained. It was pretty damn good of a main event and a match. 21 minutes. So now let's talk about WCW's 95 pay-per-views. If I can find them. There were a lot In Your Houses in 95. More than I thought. 4 or 5. I think 4. So WCW had, God almighty, what was the first show of the year? Super Brawl 5. WCW kicked off 95 on pay-per-view with Super Brawl 5 from Baltimore, Maryland. You had a lot of matches. I do remember the two, not Thunder, that was 94. They had 2 Thunderdome cage matches. 95, the crowd was pretty hot in Baltimore. I do remember that. Harlem Heat defended the tag titles and lost them to they defeated the Nasty Boys by disqualification. That was a pretty good tag match. Nasty Boys were brawlers, hardcore guys, but they had good chemistry with Harlem Heat. Nasty Boys, Harlem Heat in 95 had some good tag matches and some brawls. What else I remember about Super Brawl 5? Randy Savage and Sting teamed up for maybe the first time ever against the Avalanche and Big Bubba Rogers. The main event was Hulk Hogan defeating Big Van Vader in the main event by disqualification when Ric Flair returned. Yes, I am wearing a Ric Flair hat. So, anyways, Ric Flair returned to the ring in 95. We all know he wasn't going to stay retired, even though he lost a retirement match. I lost my page. So, Super Brawl 5. Also, Paul Roma, Alex Wright was good. Main event was not good. Vader, Hogan did not have good chemistry, in my opinion. Maybe it's because Hogan refused to put over Vader, but so what? Who cares? I don't know why they didn't have good chemistry, really. I think Vader said in interviews he was lied to, that he was going to defeat Hogan, and Hogan didn't want to do business or something. Or didn't want to do the job for him. So, up next, WCW Uncensored. 95. I need a drink here. My throat is dry. I've been talking a lot. So, I'll be done soon. This is part 1, by the way, of Year in Wrestling Reloaded 1995. Uncensored 95 was a fucking mess. It was supposed to be unscripted, uncensored wrestling action. Probably was a ripoff on ECW. That's why they called it uncensored, because they probably thought, let's copy a few things from ECW. Well, it was nothing like ECW. It was not hardcore, it was not shocking, and it was not uncensored. It was lame. It was a PG version of ECW. And I stand by that. Uncensored was created, in my opinion, because Bischoff wanted to take something from ECW and try to get more fans. Or try to be different than WWF or something by calling a pay-per-view uncensored when it was fucking PG. There's not a damn thing uncensored about it, especially the King of the Road match was god awful, one of the worst, top 5 worst matches I've ever seen. Definitely top 10 worst. Main event was, good God. You had Meng defeat Hacksaw Jim Duggan in a martial arts match. First off, Meng would kill anybody to this day. The guy's tough as hell. We were supposed to believe Hacksaw Jim Duggan in 95, and I like Hacksaw. I was a fan of the guy as a kid growing up. Ho! Anyways, we were supposed to believe Meng was gonna get beat up by Hacksaw in a martial arts match. First off, Meng could have ripped his throat out and held it and ate it. That's how tough he was. The story is true. Meng ripped a guy's nose off. That wouldn't stop bothering a woman in a bar. He ripped his fucking nose off with his bare hands, or he bit it off. Anyways, Meng is one of the toughest guys in the history of the business, in my opinion. He's up there. He is way up there as one of the toughest I can think of. He was also Haku in WWF, but he was Meng in WCW. He may still do indie shows. I don't know, or maybe he was doing indie shows before the pandemic. Is Meng. I don't know. I know him and Barbarian were in Canada working as Faces of Fear a little bit. So, good God. Johnny B. Bad knocked out Arn Anderson in round 4 of a boxer versus wrestler match. It was god awful. Nothing against Johnny B. Bad or Arn Anderson. Both really good workers. Randy Savage defeated Avalanche. That was kind of boring. Ric Flair dressed as a woman. That was funny. Ric Flair wearing women's clothes and a wig attacked the Macho Man, and they would feud in the rest of 95. Into the summer, and even at Starrcade, they had a main event matchup. Hulk Hogan again defeated Vader in a strap match, and Ric Flair interfered and attacked, or Hogan attacked. Ric Flair interfered. Hogan attacked Flair and drug him around all 4 corners, and probably was whipping him with the strap. So that was uncensored. Slamboree 95. I'm trying to think about it. It was not that good. You had the Giant, aka the Big Show, in the background at the end or before the main event appear out the entrance. I think he took his shirt off and threw it, and then the announcers were like, I know who, or Bobby Heenan, somebody was like, I know who that is. That's the son of Andre. No, it wasn't. And poor Paul White. The guy had fans asking him, I loved your dad. I loved Andre, your dad. Very sad that happened. So, Slamboree 95, the main event was Hogan and Randy Savage. The Mega Powers are back in WCW. Oh, yeah. Nobody really cared to see them. They got a pop, but not that big of a pop. It wasn't 1988 anymore. It was 95. Nobody needed to see the Mega Powers. And I love both guys, but nobody needed to see them in 95 as a team. So the Mega Powers defeated, or whatever the hell they were called in WCW, the Mega Maniacs or something, defeated Ric Flair and Vader. Great American Bash 95 was actually a pretty good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. You had Sting and I think there's no, it wasn't. That was 96, I think. Sting and Steven Regal. Anyways, Great American Bash 95 was good because you had Alex Wright, Brian Pillman. You had, oh, good God. The Renegade defeated the Ultimate Warrior parody. The Renegade. The poor Renegade. The guy later on, I think 99 or 2000 or end of 98, sadly, the Renegade committed suicide. So that's really sad. Renegade defeated Arn Anderson for the TV title really quick. 9 minutes. Main event, well, Sting took on Meng in the finals for the U.S. title. That was good. Sting defeated Meng. Bash at the Beach. The main event of Great American Bash 95 was really good. It was Ric Flair defeating Randy Savage. They always had great matches. Bash at the Beach. Hulk Hogan defeated Vader in a cage. That was not good. It was pretty boring. You had Sting defeat Meng again. You had, what else? Randy Savage defeat Ric Flair in a lumberjack Baywatch matchup. I think there were Baywatch lifeguards at ringside as lumberjacks because they were filming an episode of Baywatch that WCW was included in. Where that Hogan and Savage and Flair and Vader were in an episode of Baywatch. It was pretty funny. So, Bash at the Beach. Oh, yeah. And the announcers, Bobby Heenan and Tony Schiavone, were. Bobby Heenan had some great jokes during it. But they tried selling the crowd on a legit beach. I think it's in California somewhere. Huntington Beach or something. I don't know. But they tried selling the crowd as 100,000 people were on the beach. No, there wasn't. It was like maybe 2 to 3 to 4,000, maybe. Maybe only 1,000. I'm not even sure. Now, one of my wrestling books, I got the attendance to the shows, but it's not in this book. Seriously, I swear one of the announcers were like, 100,000 fans are on the beach for Bash at the Beach 95. No, there wasn't. Tops, there was like maybe 4,000 to 2,000 or something. Maybe 5,000. Fall Brawl 95. Trying to look at all these matches here. Arn Anderson defeated Ric Flair at Fall Brawl 95. That was really good. 22 minutes. That was a really good matchup. Ric Flair turned babyface, and then he turned on Sting at Halloween Havoc. That was really good. Hogan Sting, Randy Savage, Lex Luger defeated the Dungeon of Doom in the War Games. It was not a good War Games. It was only 18 minutes. Every War Game should be like at least 35 or more. Halloween Havoc 95. Holy shit, oh boy. Where the Giant fell off the roof. Not WWE headquarters roof. Not like Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black that landed on a second roof. The Giant falls off a roof after his monster truck challenge with Hogan. That was ridiculous. That was hilarious. Because the Giant walks out and appears with not a mark or scratch on him after falling off a roof to his death. He was back from the dead. And then the fucking mummy Yeti comes out. Why? Who the fuck booked it and who came up with that? Who the fuck came up with the Yeti? Good God, it was bad. Yeti grabbed Hogan from behind and the Giant had him in a bear hug and the Yeti was shaking the back of Hogan like they were DPing him. What the fuck? Oh my God, that was the absolute shit. The Yeti was a shit. I had no problem with Giant winning the world title because it was shocking. And it was his first ever match on a pay-per-view and his debut in the ring. And Jimmy Hart turned on Hogan also. So then you had World War III, the debut of World War III. I enjoyed the 3-ring. It was a clusterfuck. It was a mess. But I still enjoyed the 3-ring battle royal. Each ring had 20 men, 60 men. 3 rings. Holy fuck. Who came up with that? I don't know. It was different, but it was a nightmare to try to watch and follow. They had like 3 split screens. It was not good. It was good when it got down to 1 ring. Then it was good. Anyways, Hogan gets pulled out from, I think, under the bottom rope by the Giant. The ref thinks Hogan, I think, was eliminated. Randy Savage is left by himself. Randy Savage wins the WCW World title. That was awesome. Then Hogan argues with Savage that he didn't get thrown over the top or something. I don't remember what they were arguing about. Now Starrcade 95, really good. Ric Flair, Randy Savage for the world title was really good. I believe Flair bled as his white hair turned, or his bleached hair turned red. That was classic Flair. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my very long, rambling Year in Wrestling Reloaded 1995 Part 1. I'll be back with a Part 2 where I'll talk about more ECW Super Shows from 95. And I'll talk about the PWI 95 Wrestling Awards. Bye for now. Like, comment, share, subscribe.